Hello, my name is Rachel and I've been nominated by EasyStepUK to share my thoughts and ideas on how they can improve their upcoming projects. So on a piece of paper, I have noted down some key information that I would like to share with you. So let's get started. So, the first question I have been asked is, in your view, what is the biggest challenges for migrants today? And I would argue that the biggest challenges that migrants face when coming to the UK could be language barriers. This is because this could have some serious implications in communication. This could affect their likelihood of getting a job, their capability of seeing doctors, or even just to communicate with their fellow neighbours. So that's why I would argue definitely language barriers would be one of the major implications when coming to the UK. The second question I was asked was, if you could design one project to improve life in your local community, what would it be? And since I mentioned that language barriers was the major problem when coming to the UK, I said that a free language and cultural exchange classes for migrants would be best to do. They could learn English while local people could learn other cultures. So then that way it's not just about education, but it's also about building friendships. So yes, I would create a free English and cultural exchange classes for the community. The third question I was asked was, how can we make sure that young people are not just participants, but also leaders in the community activities? And I said that they could organize events, run social media pages for projects, and acting as mentors for others. This will bring energy and create fresh ideas, which helps projects to feel more engaging for the community. The fourth question I was asked was, if a project works well in one town, how could we make sure that it works in other societies too? And I said we could create a toolkit or a guide that other communities can follow. We would make sure that it's easy to and simple to abide by, and also we would share some success stories online so that councils or even schools or local neighboring communities can see this and they could benefit from each other's ideas. So yeah, the fifth question I was asked was, how could we know if a community project is successful and what should be measured? And I said a community project is successful if people actually feel connected and supported. So we need to create that atmosphere and that community where everyone feels that they can talk to each other. I would also measure success by how many people join, but also the feedback. So do migrants feel less isolated, and do young people feel more confident? Those are the type of questions I would ask and the areas I would venture into when looking at these type of aspects on whether a project is successful or not. The sixth question I was asked was, after a project's finished, how could we keep people motivated and involved? And I said we could celebrate their progress, like sharing success stories, like I mentioned before, giving out certificates. I feel like people normally do like that, or even prizes, to make them feel valued and welcome and loved. Or having small thank you events. Everyone loves a thank you. So that's what I would say. Those little things is what I believe that would keep people motivated and more involved in the community or project. The seventh question I was asked was, who do you think we should work with? And honestly, I believe that we should work with all schools, councils, and even small businesses. I would say the schools help bring young people, the councils can give funding, hopefully at least, and charities offer support, and then the small businesses might give resources and venues and stuff like that. So I feel like it's important to reach to many different aspects of institutions that you can. So yeah, that's my answer. The eighth question I was asked was, what what activities are important for organizing projects? And I'd say, oh, sorry, not activities, sorry. What qualities are important for someone that are organizing projects? And I said that for me personally, my strengths and qualities that I have would be communication and organization. My personal strength is that I like listening to different people's ideas and helping them and bring them together. And I'm also good at planning things step by step and projects and other projects so that they run smoothly. So yeah, someone who has good communication skills, who's empathetic, who just loves to listen, who's like has leadership skills, those type of qualities is what I believe would be important when organizing projects. The ninth question was optional, but I'm gonna answer it anyway. And it was, imagine you were promoting a community project on TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram. What would your idea be? And I said, if I was promoting a project on TikTok or Instagram, I would do a short video series where migrants share positive stories like their favorite food, their traditions, or what they like to enjoy, or what they enjoy living in the UK. So that way, the project feels more uplifting and relatable. So yeah, I feel like relatability and a community is definitely key here. And the last but not least is, I'm sure you're tired of hearing my voice by now, but the last question is, if I could change one thing to make the UK a better place for migrants and young people, what would it be? And I said, if I could change one thing to make the UK a better place for migrants and young people, I would make sure that there were more safe community spaces where people from different backgrounds can meet, talk and support each other, especially since the UK is getting a tiny bit more dangerous. Not to discourage anyone from coming here, but I feel like definitely creating that safety net where people can have someone to look up to when they're in need is definitely one of the areas the UK could improve in. And what better can that be when creating a new project? So thank you EasyStepUK for nominating me to take this project, and thank you for listening. And I have really enjoyed sharing my ideas and hope they help show how young people and migrants can work together to make our community stronger, safer, and more relatable. So thank you for listening. I'm Rachel, signing out.